Our group trip to Vietnam is now live. Y'all, I'm so excited. I am looking forward to this trip. We are going to be stopping first in Hanoi, then we're going to be trekking down to Ninh Binh, and then we're going to do a 2-day luxury cruise in Halong Bay. Now, the visuals here do not even come close to capturing the experience that we are about to have. I have been looking at everything on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And y'all, this is going to be the trip of the year. Now, what you need to do right now is click the link in the description of this video. Listen, make your deposit. We have flexible payment plans. We have a few more early bird spots left. Go ahead and get those because you can get $200 off. And listen, register today. Don't delay. Let's go to Vietnam and have the time of our lives. But first, we got to get into the. Oh! Breaking tea. What in the world? Dr. Wendy and Eddie Acefo, what in the world? Y'all, let's get into this tea. Y'all, I have officially become that person that cannot function without his glasses. Okay. I'm running all around the house looking for, because I got two pair of glasses, right? I got the pair so I can see things like close up. And then I got the pair so I could just kind of like drive around in and maneuver on a daily basis. But when I put those on, I can't really, the close up is kind of blurry. So y'all, I'm like all T pieces. So my apologies, y'all, for being a little bit late. I wanted to also get all my visuals updated and ready for y'all so we can get this show on the road. Okay. I know I'm becoming uncle, right? Woo, but that camera still is doing its old tricks over there, you know. Mhm. Thank you, boo. Thank you, boo. Thank my God. Oh my God. Y'all, see why you had to go and tell them that? Y'all, I literally was looking all around the resort in Zanzibar for my glasses. I was for sure. Somebody had swiped them off the table at breakfast. And don't you know that the glasses was where they were supposed to be in my glasses case. Let me tell you something. So the lady said to me, not the lady, but the doctor told me, the doctor was like, I'm not going to give you these progressives at first because I don't want you to feel like you have vertigo. And I was like, okay, because they were like, it's an adjustment because you got to look like up, right, for the regular and then down for like the close up. I don't know. I was like, you know what? If you just give me these two glasses and let me roll up out of here, right? Now, I don't get so much as the vertigo when I put these on like I was in the beginning, but I do, it takes me a minute because I'm still trying to get used to it. So, y'all, bear with me, okay? Bear with me. I'm just letting y'all know the struggles that I'm going through on a day-to-day basis. Where is my glasses has become the thing for me around the house and around my family and friends, okay? It is what it is. Okay. Welcome to the Bifocal Club. It's okay. We can see everything. Listen, I feel like with these on, actually with the other ones on, I feel like I can see into the future, baby. See into the future. Um, yeah, it's a lot to keep. It's a lot to keep up with. I'm trying to tell you, it's a lot. I mean, gotta call a thing a thing. You hit them 40s and you be like, whoa, what happened? All right, let's get into it, y'all. Now, a lot of you guys already probably knew this, and we hadn't really gotten too much into it. I don't want to bring that up. Not just yet. Um, a lot of you guys may have already known this. And like I said, we hadn't really talked too much about the consequences for their jobs, right? For their jobs. I don't know if Eddie is still practicing law, given that he is receiving that he's in the can I bust business. You know what I'm saying? Hey, notification gangs. Finally, y'all. Finally. Um, yeah, we hadn't really talked about right, like, okay, career-wise, what does this mean for them, right? Because let's say you get booted from the TV show. Let's say I don't know what the ramifications would be for the "Can I Bust" line, now that all of this has come out. Are you still able to sell the "Can I Bust"? Like, I don't know. All right. Now, someone says in the chat he hasn't practiced law since 2010, allegedly. So let's put the alleged badge up here. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Zimbabwe in the building. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So they're basically saying that he could face consequences from the state of DC if he's found guilty of any of the 18 offenses he was charged with. 18, y'all. 18. Nia says he didn't get his license until 2014. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, they have other partners in the Can I Bust. So let me ask you a question. With the Can I Bust line, would they boot him out because would he be ineligible? I don't know. Margaret says, hi, if he's convicted, he could lose both licenses. 18 offenses. 18 offenses, y'all, that's a lot. The likelihood that you're going to be found guilty on at least some of those is relatively high, especially if they're doing the police press conferences on you. That's huge. I mean, you might see normally, again, maybe I'm just not that into. I watch a lot of true crime, and I never really see a lot of those like press conferences in my true crime watchings. So anyway, um, he could face consequences in the state of DC if he's found guilty of any of the 18 offenses he was charged with, including insurance fraud, conspiracy, insurance fraud, and making a false statement to a police officer. Here is a quote from Sam Bassett, a Texas criminal defense attorney. He says most states, including DC, do institute discipline for attorneys convicted of fraud or other crimes or moral turpitude. Typically, they wait until the resolution of the criminal case, but in extreme cases, okay. Could y'all still hear me? I don't know if y'all can hear me. StreamYard, y'all about to lose it. Y'all about to lose me. Okay. Y'all about to lose me. I'm about to free myself like Fantasia if y'all do that again. Okay. Jesus. We back. We back. Norman, can you please write a letter to StreamYard asking to speak to the manager, please? Yes. Put on that wig. You know the one. Okay. Anyway, Um, typically what they wait until the resolution of the case, but in extreme cases, they may ask criminal court to make not practicing law a condition of bond. And they go on to state that Eddie Acefo is at risk of losing his license. A state bar agency could definitely revoke his law license, especially upon conviction. Adding that generally a license is always subject to review or revocation upon a felony arrest or convictions. Okay. Another criminal defense attorney, Joshua W. Day, issued a similar statement saying that Eddie's potential conviction of a serious crime could cause major issues for the TV personality down the line. Just being charged with a felony does not automatically mean that he will lose his law license, but if he is convicted or if he pleads guilty to a felony or a serious crime, which could include a felony or a crime involving moral turpitude, the Washington, D.C. Disciplinary Board can seek to impose discipline on him, which might include disbarment. So let's really just look at the career ramifications, right? Is all of this worth losing all of that? You could lose your Can I Bust license, right? You could lose your law license. I mean, you could be disbarred. Nia says his Can I Bust license should be fine. I mean, what do you, okay, after all of this, what do you do? I mean, there's plenty of occupations out there, obviously, but you both have multiple degrees, but are those degrees any good now that you have been charged and then potentially convicted? I just don't know. Bruce, I'm still in disbelief too. Yep, Nia, they would have to pivot as business owners. Hmm. Maybe they could be consultants. I mean, but dang, what are you consulting at that point? Like, who wants your advice? I mean, his partners may vote him out. Mm, mm. A lot of times these. Oh yeah, I mean, listen, there's always an option out there for people. You know what I'm saying? But if they get convicted, honestly, y'all, they got 18. And then what happens? Like, do they? A lot of I don't know. Jen Shaw's husband has stood beside Jen Shaw, so it ain't the situation where every time this happens to somebody, they end up Splitsville like Teresa and Joe, right? But Caroline Manzo did predict everything that happened to Teresa and Joe, so I don't know. I don't really know. I mean, it would be one thing if Wendy could say it was all him. He did it all, right? But at the end of the day, it sounds like they both may they're both at risk here. That's what it sounds like. I don't know, man. And then do you even want them on the show anymore? Right? I mean, let's say for the sake of argument that the charges are dropped. I- Are they coming back to the show at this point? I don't really know. And some people in the chat feel like they may have been targeted. Do you feel like Wendy and Eddie were targeted? Let me know. Hmm. I'm reading your responses now. Targeted how? I mean, technically, they're not guilty yet. They've been charged, right? We wouldn't know what a verdict would be until they've had they've gone through the entire process. So we don't really know. I mean, y'all, I don't know. It's so many ways we could go with this because I think the question is like how did y'all get caught up in this? In this? This is what y'all I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Happy birthday. I would like to hear their side of the story as well. Their press conference, well, they're not their press conference, but their PR statement didn't really it didn't really do much to give us any information. So I don't know. I don't really know. Yeah, that's my question too. Who emails their spouse when they live under the same roof? Incriminating evidence. You know? We got a super chat from Ali. Thank you for the super chat. It says, "Can I be honest? This is what happens when you speak on the grand dame. Bring Karen back with your 4 degrees." Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Winter Moon says, "Why am I overthinking this?" I think a lot of us may be in your, I mean, you may feel like we're overthinking it, but a lot of us are just still in disbelief. Um, so yeah, I mean, why would I not try to conceptualize why they would have done something like this, especially given how many mistakes were made in the process, how many like literally things that they did to give themselves away. It seems so like, why? If you were going to do X, then why would you do Y? That's kind of where I think most of our thinking is. Bruce says it's possible an employee of Wendy and Eddie's had access to their emails and etc. I don't like it though. I want more for them. I don't see it for them. That's, I feel like, where a lot of us are in this space, right? It makes so much. I mean, it doesn't make much sense at all. Especially consider he was a lawyer, was or whatever, and she does have the 4 degrees. It's like, what? All right. All right, I'm not going to beat that. Do I think she will be at the reunion? No. No. I bit my lip earlier. No, I don't think she will be at the reunion. Like, why would, if, listen, here's my reasoning for saying that they should not be at the reunion. Okay. Number one, if they were, if they did all this and they still just, and she was still wearing the rings, if they still kept the items that they claim were stolen, I would wager to think that they may not have the wherewithal to be able to answer questions at a reunion without giving further information away. So if I'm their attorney, I'm saying to them, no, you shan't. You shall not be at the reunion. Okay? You actually shall not, if you get off on this, you shall not be seen in public again. No. Period. Now, moving on. Had you guys heard about this? Had you heard about this drama with K.Michelle and Drew Sidora? Let me let you guys know what the tea is. Okay. So, shout out to one of the squad members for sending this to me in the DMs. I appreciate y'all. So, apparently, the word on the curb was that K. Michelle had allegedly swung on Drew after a fight about who has the better voice. Now, this source also claims that the cast is scared of K.Michelle. All right, so we're going to get into it. So stick around because we're going to go from A to Z on this story. All right, so don't go nowhere. If you just came in, we're going from A to Z. All right. Now, the T was that Kay was throwing shade at Drew, telling her to stick to acting. And then the report initially alleged that K.Michelle stood up because she was ready to go. Then Drew stood up too, and it looked like they were about to like get into the brawl of it all, but security jumped in, right? Now, the T was at the time that Kay had allegedly lunged at Drew, shaking the table, and security stepped in. But I'm gonna give you the update from K.Michelle. Now let's see. Let me state this. These ladies have two different type of voices. Okay. Two different type of voices. I agree. It is not a comparison. Okay. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Two different type of voices. All right. This ain't Love and Hip Hop. This ain't Phaedra. Yes, get those likes up, y'all. Come on. All right. So let's then get into the tea of it all. Because K.Michelle is giving us a different story. K.Michelle says, "Stop lying on me. I haven't swung or had any type of physical altercation with anyone in years. I have a whole career and a lot I'm working towards. I'm a grown woman. It's not cute or cool. Leave me alone." Okay. She then goes on to say, "To make up something like that and paint me as violent of any sorts is crazy, a complete lie. I don't fight. I'm grown. Leave me alone." Okay? Leave me alone. Couch potato. Remember she called Robin a couch potato? All right. So K.Michelle is basically saying, "No, I did not beat the brakes off of her. I'm not that girl no more. I'm trying to get my Grammy for my country album. All right. I'm singing and yodeling in the studio. I don't have time to be putting hands on the girls no more." Okay. Period. Point blank. Now, what I will say is just because she did not put hands on her does not mean that they did not get into it verbally. Okay. Just because she didn't lay hands on the lady does not mean that they didn't get into the drama of it. I mean, like they didn't get into something. Would you like to know more? Would you like to see? Oh, okay. Let's get into it. She says, "The audacity. I would never fight someone whose edges and eyebrows are in a fight daily. Leave me out of it." Mm. Mm. Yodelay, yodelay, yodelay. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Not the edges and eyebrows are in a fight daily. Yodelay, yodelay, yodelay. So yeah, I would say it's safe to say that there was something that occurred between K.Michelle and Drew Sidora, but it doesn't sound like it was fisticuffs. At this point, based on the way I've seen Drew kind of maneuver in the past two seasons, I would not see Drew trying to fight anyone. Drew has a very interesting way of being aggressive, but passively so, right? Um Yodelay, 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 yoo. um hmm. So yeah, it's safe to say that things are not on the up and up with K Michelle and Drew Sidora, right? So we'll have to see um how this works out. All right. Yesterday, we talked about how, Katie didn't really take too well to Ashley making those comments about Wendy and how they've been knowing about Wendy and calling Zen Win in the pen. And we learned, or we had heard, the allegation that Katie's cooter was magical and that Ashley had allegedly you know, eaten the box. Okay. Um, we talked about that. Now, this came out of nowhere. Very, very odd. Um, and so Ashley has responded and said that story is gross beyond words. I don't argue with mentally unstable peoples. Okay. To that, I say, Ashley, is it really gross? Considering that I'm just going by what was said on the show. Now, if what was said on the show years ago was true, that you and Michael would invite, the peoples, into the boudoir, I would say it's safe to say that at some point, maybe you could have done something with another lady, right? Um, and I thought in a previous season she had admitted to kind of enjoying a little bit of everybody, which I personally feel like absolutely go get as much of whatever in life as you can, right? Get as much of it as you can, however much you can, eat it all up, gobble it, as much as you will, shake that thing. Or is it gross because it's Katie? I don't know. Also, I will say I'm never really a fan of somebody that tells us that somebody did something with them, right? Because I feel like you want to out yourself as being like having relations all over the place or whatever it is that you may do. But then to tell somebody else's business, I'd be kind of like, oh, why would you do that? That's kind of like, oh, But I don't know. I do. Let me tell you something. Katie is still my girl. That's my girl. But I love me some Ashley too. Having the pleasure of having worked with Ashley, I will say that she's a very much she is who she is on the show, but she's also kind of not. So you have to take for that what you will, right? Um, yeah, yeah. So in the spirit of fairness and getting the response back from Ashley, I felt like it behooved me to go ahead and post this to let you guys know that she says that is not true. It's not the truth. Okay. It is false. A falsehood. Not real. Fake news. Allegedly. Y'all, I don't know what we're going to do. This is where my mind is still here. It's so hard for me to believe. Can I just read y'all one other thing before we go? This is the part that And I know we talked about it, but I kind of just want to run back through this real quick. They allegedly told police that the bedroom had been ransacked while they were on vacation, and hundreds of thousands of luxury goods were stolen in the process. But the police reported that a damaged window screen was lying on the roof. However, officers reported other inconsistencies. Here's a quote from the police report. To go in or out of that window, one has to step on the toilet. The toilet lid was down and had no debris on it. When sheriff's office personnel stepped into the roof and back into the home, they tracked roof grit back inside. The Cepos had an ADT system and a ring camera. However, there was no motion detected inside the residence during Wendy and Eddie's trip away. Was it indeed a scheme that Todd set up to come to us with the BS? Was it? I don't know. I don't know. But it does make me sad, truly sad. Y'all keep it locked. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Like this video if you haven't already liked it. And just smack the like button right now. Just smack it, okay? Smack it, smack it, smack it. And with that being said, y'all, I will catch you in the next video with my glasses.